Hello, I think we're live. Are we live, everybody? Welcome to another wonderful live stream spectacular here on Marriott on our wonderful YouTube channel. Thank you everyone for joining me. We are going to be just having an awesome casual chat. I'll be answering all of your questions about the course. Let me know in the chat where you're from, what time it is. I know some of you are very late over there in Germany, and we've got Mr. Jake Bartlett in the chat. Jake Emotion, we'll be talking a bit about him later when we get into the details, the features, the bonuses of the course. But, you know, hit me up with your questions. I have my lovely producer with me behind the camera, who's also my lovely wife, and because she helped me a lot with this course, managing me, and it wouldn't happen without her. But more importantly for you, she will be checking all the questions, and if I don't see your question, and if I move on past it, she'll make sure I answer it. So rest assured, all questions will be answered about the course, and then any other questions you want to know about animation, life, science fiction, everything else I'm into, I'll be answering. All right, where else have we got here? We've got Poland, midnight in Poland, New York, Americans. I know it's afternoon over there. Don't try to pretend that you know that I didn't time this stream, especially to hit the Americans and everyone in Europe as well, although it's a bit late. All right, we've got Mexico, Michigan, Florida, 6 p.m. Washington, Brazil, Indiana, Indianapolis. Excellent. All right. Damn. Bristol. Now that's a place in the UK. I know that. That's the motherland. All right. Well, guys, hit me with your questions. What do you want to know about the course? I thought I might start just let you know how long this thing took. If you've been following me for a while, you might have realized I was teasing about this in September of last year. The very first document I started on my computer, like on my folder, I can right click, see date created. It was July last year, so it's been well over a year that I started designing and animating stuff for this course, because you know the world has been a difficult place, some might say, and it was a real struggle for me to, you know, work on something so large. You might notice, you know, cheeks are a little fuller, skin a little paler, but you know, I'm really excited to have it finally out. It's finally finished. I can't wait to share it with you all. It's been, you know, it's been a big journey to get here, but I'm stoked we are. All right. Okay, we've got a question. What AE skill would you recommend coming into the course? Well, it's definitely for people who already are comfortable in After Effects. If you're comfortable in After Effects, there'll be no problem for you. The technical skill level is no more advanced than in my tutorials. I'm not going into like crazy technical, you know, secrets that are like too complicated to understand. Like animation, at the end of the day, I'm not saying it's simple, but it's it's just moving things. So if you can follow my tutorials, you'll have no problem. But I would recommend being comfortable with After Effects, so you can just hit the ground running and emphasize on just making your motion even better. It's really for those who just want to up their skills to the next level. Ideally taking someone who's comfortable, who's an intermediate, and taking them to an advanced level. Okay, we're having a small chihuahua did hit my light stand, which has been quickly corrected, and if we're lucky we'll get to see a bit of kimchi later. All right, okay, let's have, what's another question? Oh, is it guaranteed? Ooh, what's the question? Sorry. Will it, okay, does it provide over a college course? What is the overall goal of the course? Over a college course, well, you can do this from your own home with no lecturer, no tutor, except other than me. It's me. It's me teaching it, and we have some very exciting bonuses that that university courses don't have. We have, like, just for the launch, just for these, you know, 3 weeks where before the course starts, before the end of September, if you enroll in the course, we have like feedback from motion gurus, which is what I'm most excited about. I've managed to convince, well, hang on, let me switch my camera setup so you can get a better view. Here's my my website. So you're gonna get feedback from motion gurus. So I've somehow managed to convince Evan Abrams, Jake Bartlett, and Amoni LaRussa to come on and help me for 8 weeks, and there will be in the private group giving feedback to everyone who submits their assignment. And the goal is to get anyone who submits an assignment, one of me or one of these three will give you personalized feedback. And that's not something a college can do. And for most colleges, this will be, from remembering the courses back in my university days, you know, a lot better value. And other bonuses as well that I'm sure we'll talk about in a little bit. Okay, are the early enrollment bonuses going to be a yearly thing, or is it to help the gurus? Okay, this is only going to be available one time. These bonuses are not going to come back, especially the motion gurus. I'm lucky that I've got enough of their time as it is. These very busy people. Amoni will probably be, you know, she'll be at the Grammys for the next, you know, for the year after this. So yeah, these 8 weeks is all you've got. And so really, before the end of September is the best time to enroll. And even if you can't take the course immediately, you can, you know, lock in the bonuses, you can get access to the gurus, as well as the weekly live streams, the extra exercises, and the big project breakdown, which is the big microscope scene from the end of the promo. You'll really lock this in. And to be clear, you'll get access, you know, to all of these files, all of the lessons forever. So don't stress about if you want to enroll, but like, are you going to be busy in October and November? That's okay. You can complete the courses, so you can complete the lessons, the assignments at your own time. Ideally, you get some feedback from some of the motion gurus, but if not, I will be in there. I'm not going to disappear off the face of the earth. Submit your work into the group, and I'll give you feedback as well. So there's never a better time to buy the Master Motion Design course. All right, what other questions have we got? Yes, I think I answered that question. Feedback is still available for people to buy now that can't start the course. Yeah, absolutely. Post in that group and you'll get feedback from them. All right. Okay, we've got another question here. Will the course provide enough assignments to build a full portfolio resume at the end of the course? Well, I think certainly I've structured the assignment so that you can get as much out of it as you want. And I do want to cater to everyone as well. So there are some people that aren't designers who don't want to be designers, who just want to, you know, be given files, and you know, I love that too. My favorite job is when someone just gives me a design, says, animate this, I'll call you in a week. So I will have different sort of levels of assignment. So each week we'll be building a project. Let me scroll down, we can open up one, and I'll give an example. No, it's over here. Okay, so in week 1, we are building this animation, and we'll get into why that I really think project-based learning is really important. But so for the assignment for this one, if you're maybe less confident, you just want to animate what I've animated, I'm giving you that working file. But I'm also giving alternate working files that have different characters in there, so you can apply that knowledge to create your animation. But there's two other levels. I want people to either create their own character, design their own person, to be in that spaceship, or even just create their own scene, which shows what they've learned in this lesson. And this one's focused on anticipation, more in depth in follow through and overlapping action, and then, you know, some technical skills that we're doing in the background. So if you've got the time and want to create a whole new animation for each week, I will highly encourage that, and we'll give feedback based on that. But if you've got no time, well, if you don't have as much time that you want to commit, and you just want to, hey, I just want to open that After Effects file and, you know, get running, you can do that as well. So it's over 8 weeks. You can create 8 5-second animations, and you could fill out a portfolio like that. Yeah, that's up to you. All right, let's go another question. Are the early enrollment bonuses going to be a yearly thing? Or are they only available one time? One time, they are, you know, gone forever. I don't have the luxury of keeping all of these gurus on hand for more than 8 weeks. So yeah, now's the best time to enroll, even if you will be busy in October and November. You can do the course whenever you want, and you'll have locked in those bonuses. Excellent. How much will you hit on design, Illustrator, Photoshop, in addition to animation? That's an awesome question. I've gotten that a bit. Definitely, this is like laser focused on animation. All you need, if you just wanted to use this course just with After Effects, that is all you need. Pretty much all the lessons are going to be within that. We will be using Illustrator, especially in week 2, when we're talking about workflow, about really setting up your files, because, you know, I think preparation is the key to good animation and figuring out what the best pre-production workflow is for, you know, a simple scene or a larger project. So I'm not going into the details of how to use Photoshop, how to use Illustrator, those sort of aspects. It's mainly how we can, you know, prepare our files in Illustrator to be better suited in After Effects. Okay. I can't do the course in time due to schedule. Will I receive personal feedback even if I start the course after everyone else has completed it? What is the format for critique? Excellent. Excellent question there. Yeah, if you are busy during that period, that is fine. I'll still make sure you get critique after everyone else is finished. I don't want there to be this super time pressure for people to finish their assignments and get them all in. If you want to do that, if you want to just saturate yourself in this course for 8 weeks and, you know, learn as much as possible in an intense period, absolutely, it's there for you to go for that. But I understand a lot of people work full-time jobs, work freelance, are students as well. So you can absolutely get critique for whatever you make within that time period and afterwards as well. I'll be there, just not our motion gurus, which, you know, you definitely want to get in there for that. So if you enroll before the end of September, you'll lock in all of those. All right, another question. Will there be 3D camera tutorials in the course? We will be doing a little bit of 3D in After Effects in lesson 6, where we'll be building this awesome spinning cube. But like technically, we will be using 3D cameras, but this is more focused on a 3D object in a 2D environment, less so building 2D objects for 3D environments. So this is really focused just on the motion, how things move and how they and, you know, how they interact with each other. So we won't get too in depth about building 3D scenes, but pardon me, excuse me. Everyone knows I burp when I'm nervous. I get too excited, taking too much air. But yeah, we won't be covering like the details of like setting up 3D cameras and things like that. But whatever you make, I assure you will look better once you add a 3D camera to it. All right, what else have we got? A question here, will we be able to buy the course afterwards as a recording? Yes, absolutely. This course will be on sale, you know, indefinitely. So you'll be able to buy this anytime you want. New Year, if you want to buy it on, you know, Christmas Eve, you know, 2023, you'll be able to buy it and take the lessons, you know, as soon as you enroll. But, you know, you won't have those bonuses available. You won't have the gurus and the bonus projects and the extra live streams and assignments that, you know, we're offering for this time. All right, another question from my wife. If I can't sign for this time, when the next enrollment be available? Oh, so I think I just covered that. It will be available for whenever. Just the benefit is, you know, enroll now to get those bonuses that won't be coming back. I won't have the resources to keep all the motion gurus here, but yeah, that will you'll be able to buy it anytime. So don't stress, but get it now. If you're going to do it anyway, get it now. Get the bonuses. Complete them when you want. All right. Do we need to know how to use Projectbased beforehand? I tried one tutorial and I'm a little lost with it. No. You will. We are using a couple of plugins. So there's one question about third-party plugins. We will only be using 2 plugins. One is Projectbased, which is completely free, and I will be going into like everything you need to know in order how to use it. I am definitely a plugin minimalist, you might say. You know, I do love some plugins that I love to use, but you probably know from everything I teach on the channel, you don't need anything. I hide all of the plugins when I open After Effects, when I do a recording, to let you know you don't need them. Some of them are really handy to, you know, make things a little quicker. So we'll be using Projectbased, but I'll teach you everything you need to know, like from you know, opening it, installing it, and getting started. And we'll also be using Ease Copy as well, which is one of my favorite plugins that is also completely free, but I think it's better than any paid plugin I have. And that's just used for copying the easing values onto other keyframes. Really handy. Okay. I saw it yesterday. Congrats, Ben. Thank you very much. I tried to make a course before. I know how much time and effort it takes. Can it be paid in installments? First of all, thank you so much. Yes, it does take a lot of work, and I'm glad. You know, I'm excited that you try to make a course. You should, you know, finish it. That'll be valuable. Yes, you can definitely pay in installments. You can do two monthly payments, and there is a link to that on this page, which is, you know, benmarriott.com in the FAQ. The very top here. Do you offer a payment plan? Yes, and you can click here and pay for that there. Also, I see a question here. What time are the live streams from GH? So I haven't fully confirmed that yet. I did a little poll on my Instagram, I think last week. So what I will definitely be doing is just hitting as many time zones as I can. At the moment, the majority of people enrolled are in America, so I'll be doing maybe a time similar to this, but I will likely be alternating every week. So if it's afternoons in America this week, next week it might be mornings in America, but afternoons, evenings in Europe, and maybe trying to, I'm just trying to cover as much ground as possible, but it, not dialed in just yet, but rest assured, and they'll all be recorded, so you can watch them whenever you want. Okay, when will Kimchi 2022 calendar be available? Now, the Kimchi 2022 calendar, as many of you know, has been in work for a while. I've been planning this for, I've been doing this course for over a year. The Kimchi calendar has been 3 years. That was as soon as we bought Kimchi, I thought, all right, it's too small now, but in a few years, we're going to create an excellent calendar for him. So the 2022 calendar, I'm afraid, probably won't be available to 2023 at least. So, look out for that. He's getting in shape now. He absolutely is. He's just by the door. I'll see if I can get him on camera. All right. Got a little Kimchi here to say hello. If you don't know Kimchi, Kimchi's my Chihuahua, if you hadn't heard of him before. And he's a very good boy, loves being on camera, loves After Effects, loves labeling his layers. He's a good boy. And he's been so well behaved. Okay, the question. I've been using After Effects for 6-7 years. Would this course be good to bring some new ideas, or is it more for beginning from scratch? That's an excellent question. This is definitely not beginning from scratch. I won't be talking over any of the fundamentals of like how to use the software. If you want to know how to use the interface and get acquainted, I'm not wasting any time with that. We're getting straight into the intermediate advanced effects. I definitely think this will be useful. I think you're one of the ideal candidates. You've been using After Effects for a while, and you maybe want to know, okay, I'm happy with the work I'm doing now, but I really want to know what I can do to take it to the next level. This is me sharing all of my techniques that I found, like before I made the YouTube channel. I found there was such it was really hard to find resources that were at an intermediate or advanced level. There was a lot of people that told you, oh, here's how to use all the transform properties, here's how to make motion graphics. But when I saw work at like Buck and Giant Ant and all of these awesome places, like, well, there's a gap there. Some of that is really awesome, and I understand they're all, probably using the same software and it's just shapes moving, but there's something about the motion that is elevating it that I don't know how to ask Google how to search for why motion looks so good from some people and not others. And, eventually what I learned, it's all about, more nuance in timing and follow through and anticipation and building a scene in order to, guide the eye and the viewer, and more like directing the motion rather than just animating a square. You're directing the viewer of what you want them to feel, what you want them to experience, where you want them looking, and how to craft that result using After Effects tools. So that's what it's mainly for. That's why I built this course to shortcut those years of my life that I spent trying to figure that out for myself. All right. What do you think sets this course apart from the others? Well, don't get me started. Okay, well, this course, first of all, it's the most you're going to get of me ever. This is it's over 10 hours of video lesson, so it is long. There will be no shortage of my voice and in me going into detail about the very nuances of specific After Effects things and techniques to get there. But also, really, the bonuses that we're offering, really, you can't get them anywhere else. You're not going to get access to Evan Abrams, EC Abrams, Jake Bartlett, Amoni LaRussa. If you don't know that from YouTube, Evan has been making tutorials for, I think over 10 years. He's like legendary motion designer and motion graphics YouTuber and, tutorial creator, educator. Same as Jake Bartlett. He makes pretty much the best tutorials. I see those two were massive inspirations for me when I was starting. When I was starting YouTube tutorials, my goal, and still is, I want to make work at their level. And Amoni LaRussa definitely coming new on the scene, becoming an absolute rock star, sharing her process on YouTube as well. And yeah, I'm really excited to have them, on board to help give feedback to the students because, like my perspective, obviously I think, my perspective can be helpful, but multiple perspectives is, that's the way to advance. All art is subjective, so getting all of those different opinions is really helpful. And another thing I did mention earlier is this is very project-based. Now, I really think learning with projects is the best way to grow. I think, let me open up a couple of more examples here. So each week we will be building one of these lessons from scratch. And this week 8 one here, like that's a pretty detailed scene. There's a lot of things going on, but oftentimes what I've seen in other courses and on other YouTube channels and things like that is you don't have the luxury of time where you can go into details. It's one thing for someone to say, oh, here's how I made this, I did this, then this and this, but there's still a gap between, yeah, you said you did that, but how did you actually move the keyframes in After Effects to get that result? There's still something gets lost in translation there if you don't see the actual thing. Now, obviously, there is some things that are so simple. Like in most of my tutorials, you never see me make a new comp and tell you what frame rate and size it is. You can figure that on your own. If you've come to my tutorials, I'm sure you already know how to make a new comp. So, the very thinnest layer, we're not going to be, there's no need to cover that. But we go really into detail you'll see exactly almost every keyframe that I make in this project, why I do it, what I'm thinking about when I'm making those. We're getting into the real details of that, which, I haven't seen and I haven't got from any other courses that I've taken in this space. Okay. Another question here. Will there be an enrollment cap? There will be no enrollment cap. Yeah, as long as you can enroll at any time you want, but yeah, as long as you get in before end of September, you will get access to all of those bonuses. But I will scale all of the resources of the gurus and everything to make sure everyone gets feedback and everyone gets the ideal experience. All right. Is there anything on how to improve work ethic, how to stay motivated in this course at all? Yeah, there is. Like a lot of animation is, I think there's the technical aspects of like, okay, we need to do, you need to follow this process to, get this result. Like in a sense, you're, moving things in After Effects, understanding what you want and, how to achieve them there. But we know that's not the real struggle in any sort of creative work is maintaining that, making it sustainable so that you can, do that consistently, that you can get up and do that from, during your work hours and still get a good result. Yeah, there's a difference between, knowing how to do something and actually motivating yourself and, making yourself do something. And I've learned a lot, even during making of this course, because I did, I struggled with this has been like one big task for me to build a course that I've been prepping for over a year. Normally my workflow, I think even more so than when I was working freelance, making a YouTube video, in 1 week, you've got a week to make something, and then after a week you're done. You get immediate feedback on how it was and you can move on to the next project. This has been a year for me. So I've been making stuff, like figuring out, okay, I won't get, it's going to be like a year. I didn't know it was going to be a year at the time, but it's going to be a long time before I'm able to, fully show this with people and share it. And that was, hard for me, like not, disrupting that feedback loop. So yeah, I'll be talking a lot about that in the course. And a lot of it is, small things like, okay, when you're in a project and you're like, a project's going to look bad in After Effects before it looks good. You're going to take great designs, you're going to make them look really ugly with bad animation before you make them look good. But even if you're a great animator, you have to start off with a blocking phase where everything looks janky and then slowly tighten that up. And maintaining that is certainly a part of the process as well. Okay. Is there a team plan? A group of people from work are interested and we would like to work together on it and ask the company to buy it for the team. Absolutely. If you work for a company and want to buy it for your team, or you're in a team and want a company to buy it for you, or others in the group of you, absolutely. Reach out to me, email me in either the contact form on my website, which is down at the bottom here. Where's the contact form? Oh, if you go to the more FAQs or there's a contact page here. You'll be able to fill in that form, send me a message, and you've got my email address here. and I will absolutely work out a team deal for you. And anyone else that, if you are employed somewhere, most employees might pay for something like this. When I was, I know in all the places I worked, if I asked, hey, there's this educational resource that I really want, to them it is a great deal to like increase the skills of their employees. That's worth the cost alone. So hey, if you're not sure, give it a chance. Ask your boss, buy me this course, and send them my way. Okay. Fasca X says, we love you, Ben, from Algeria. Thank you very much. From Algeria. And what time is it over there? That must be really late. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I really, I can't thank you all enough, really. It's been 3 years that I've been on YouTube, and almost 3 years, 2.5, let's say. And the response to it, everything has been so overwhelming, especially big projects like this, where I've just received so much support. People really encourage me to they like me making bigger stuff and things like these that are more in depth and cater to real specific niches. And just people, the outreach has been so good. So many amazing comments. People saying such nice things. People so excited for it. I really appreciate it. Of course, I'm not YouTube is still going. That's still my priority. The course is finished, so I can really focus on making stuff on YouTube there. But thank you so much, everyone that that's coming on here live. We've got over 200 people watching me live, asking me questions. That's still a dream to me, that more than one person is looking at my work and finds it interesting. I feel it feels great. I've not felt as happy and as comfortable in myself and creatively as I do now. Last year, it's been a struggle, but now I'm feeling great. Thank you, everyone. Okay. What? Okay. If you enroll early, when do you get the bonus material like the telescope breakdown? Is it in the first week or a little early treat? So those breakdown, the bonuses will come at the end. I have structured the course specifically, so you in each lesson it kind of builds on the previous lessons, and that breakdown is really, that's a bonus for okay, we've talked about all this other stuff in the course. Here's me putting it a lot of those together. So that won't unlock until closer to the very end, but you will get access to it whenever you buy it. But that will unlock then. And these, and I should say that as well with the other lessons. So these are it's a drip course. So every week you will unlock a new lesson. That's I would doubt anyone will be able to go through all the material faster than a week. If no one, I think, will be stuck going, where's lesson 2? Where's lesson 2? You're going to be, I really want to finish lesson 1 so I can, get to lesson 2. But again, you can go at your own pace. You'll be fine. Okay. Is there anything on how to improve work ethic? Is it fine to join the course if I'm new to Adobe After Effects? I would highly recommend you get some experience with After Effects first. This is really, laser focused on intermediate, advanced After Effects skills. So you are going to have a much better time if you already know the basics of After Effects. I think it's still useful for people who are, still as a beginner. The knowledge isn't just for, it's not like you won't understand any of it if you're just new to After Effects, but you will have the skills to be able to apply it and really understand these. I think it will, definitely help having some experience with After Effects under your belt first. Okay. I'm sorry if I've answered this already. Don't apologize. That's what this is for. I just joined in. Will the course be available later? Will there be any holiday discounts? And from 1 to 10, how proud of it are you? Okay. 3 questions there. First one, okay. Yes, the course will be available later, but if you get it now, you get all of these bonuses. I've talked a lot about that in this stream, so you can go and watch that. Tons of bonuses if you enroll now, and you'll get access to all of those later, no matter when you take the course. Will there be any holiday discounts? I'm afraid not. We can't have discounts at the moment, but we are adding tons of value in these bonuses. That is where I'm going to be, adding value through. We've got Automation Gurus, the bonus breakdown, 2 additional exercises, weekly live streams that you're not going to get at any other time. The course will, never be cheaper than it is now, and it's never going to have as many bonuses as it is now. And the last question, what was that? 1 to 10, how proud of it are you? I'm going to go 10. I think I'm really look, no surprise there, but yeah, I the reason it took so long to produce is because I wanted to make sure that I'm proud of it. This is the biggest thing I've ever released, like by far. All the other projects that I've worked on, even for projects I can't even talk about because I've signed NDAs that I worked on for months at big studios, under lock and key where I couldn't even exit a room without tapping a card. Uh, we made awesome work, but this is different. Like it's 10 hours of material at least, and it's my whole you know career, my whole everything I've learned being a motion designer is in this. All the most valuable stuff. So yeah, there's nothing I'm prouder of this. Excellent. Oh, another one from Algeria. God, Algerians showing up. Thank you very much. Do you think there'll be more courses in the future? Yes, there'll be more courses in the future. I think I'm gonna need a long break after this. My wife and my and Kimchi are both nodding. I haven't, worked so hard on anything before. Trying to, struggling to make this and keeping up with the YouTube as well has been hard. So I will be taking a break before there's more courses. And what I really want to do is collaborate with some awesome people to make courses, specifically on like I'll tease, but the ones I'm thinking of next are like an advanced cell animation, like frame by frame animation. I've got a couple of people I would like to work with on that. Maybe some detail and maybe animation direction as well. I'd like to collaborate on people, so it'd be me and another expert in their field, teaching various aspects of that, talking about it, and then showing how to apply things that I really want to learn, skills that I don't have. I'm very focused on 2D After Effects. That's my niche. That's where I'm really proud of, and I think I want to make the best 2D After Effects animation resource possible, and I think I've done that here. And I want to do that for other aspects of motion design and with collaborators, so they can help me as well. But yeah, there'll be more courses in the future, but certainly none more this year. All right. What's more? Okay, Raincoat says, hi from Kosovo. Thank you very much. Hi from Jamaica. Oh God, thank you very much. Everyone's all over the place. Thank you. Just tossing it out there. You're my favorite motion graphics person. Thank you, Sean. Sean Levy. That's very kind. That's very kind of you. I really appreciate that. And Adrian Brito, hi from Mexico. You're a wonderful animator. And Conrad, hi from Mexico City. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I still find it hard to take compliments online, but thank you. That's really I really appreciate that. I'm so glad my tutorials have been helpful to you. That's what I really want. I want my tutorials and this course as well to help people make more awesome stuff. I did, there's a realization that I came to pretty early when I started the YouTube stuff, when it was starting to take off. I realized that, like, I think I'm a good animator, I'm a good designer, but I think what my skill really lies is hopefully getting other people to unlock their creativity and their skills. And I think I can offer more to the world creatively, not necessarily by making my own creative work, but by helping other people make their work. So that's really, when I hear things like that, it's great. It's great. Thank you very much. I'm, eternally grateful. Okay, how can I convince my boss that this course will improve my animation skills, since those will be very valuable towards the company? He's willing to pay for it, but needs that last little push. Okay, all right. Convince your boss this. I think. Well, you can tell him to contact me directly, and I can talk to him if that helps. But really, I'd say think about the cost of the course, and think of if he had to hire a freelance animator for, one day to cover things. That if there was a project that, I saw Jake in motion just says, just show them the trailer. That's a great point. Show them the trailer. Get him to watch that a couple of times. I appreciate that, Jake. Yeah, I'd think about it. If I was owning a company, I'm like, well, I have this animator that wants to, really wants to increase their skills and has the opportunity to do it, and I can give them that. That seems like a no-brainer to me. If that person's skills, the project that needed someone else, you have to hire freelancers to do that, and they're going to be of extra cost to you. Like, of course, you want to increase, the value of your resources that you have, and I think this is, the easiest way to do that, especially if you're already so enthusiastic about it. That's great. But if they do need an extra push, yeah, tell them to sit them down, make them watch the trailer again and again. But yeah, you can get them to email me, and I'll be able to help with that as well. Thank you. All right. If we are unfortunately only able to start in a couple of months and want to buy now, do we still have access to the bonuses? No, the gurus are busy. Yes, you will. Once you buy, you get access to all the bonuses indefinitely. The gurus will only be around for 8 weeks though. But if you buy the course and you're not able to do any of the assignments in there, reach out to me. I will be able to give you feedback after that, and I'm sure you'll be able to find something for you to post and get feedback from the gurus as well. In the meantime, even if it's not the assignment, so reach out to me. I'll make sure you get the most value out of that. But all the other things, all the other bonuses, will be very useful going forward. Okay. How much time per week should we expect to spend? Now, I have structured this so that you can spend as little or as much time as you want. Ideally, I would recommend, if you are wanting to do it in 8 weeks, you want an intense period where you're just 8 weeks, you're taking each lesson and doing the assignment, I would recommend at least 6 hours a week. Each lesson is about 60 to 90 minutes, some longer, some a bit shorter. And the assignments mainly revolve around building something similar to what you have seen me build. Now, you could build that, you could just take the project files that I've done, the designs that I've animated with, and animate that in a couple of hours, or you can create your own design, your own scene, and use those skills, and you could take 40 hours if you wanted to build an animation with that. So as much or as little as you're willing to spend, the course will scale to that. I would recommend something along 6 hours. Make something you're proud of, but don't get too attached. Like you can spend the time to make something that you're really happy with, but then there's another lesson, another course, and another opportunity to make something really well. And we've got some more details about that in the FAQ at the bottom of this page as well, how much time you should commit. But yeah, really, it's up to you. How was your journey? So my journey, I assume you mean in my career or making this course or on YouTube. Well, my journey, I started as a designer at university. Then I decided to be an illustrator because design was too boring. It was just rectangles and just text boxes and aligning things in InDesign, which I did not enjoy. I enjoyed making the fun pictures, and people responded to those a lot better. So I decided to be an illustrator as a freelancer. I did that for a couple of years, and I struggled because I was very shy and hard to approach people and convince them to pay me to make silly drawings for them. That was tricky. So then I got a job at a video production company that did animation, and I was just doing the designs, designing the style frames and designing the assets for them. And then I slowly learned how to bring animation to those designs, because once I did that, people started to see a lot more value in them. I could it's a lot more commercially viable. It's like an animated picture than a picture, and it's a bit more of a trade, so it's easier to sell yourself as a freelancer that way. So I led animation that way, and for years and years I worked in those studios. Got better and better. I did plateau for a long time where I was like, okay, I know After Effects, I think I know everything. I've watched every single tutorial on YouTube, but it's still not at the level that I'm seeing at work, like Buck and Giant Ant and Oddfellows and now Audrey Folk and Gunnar and all those amazing students. Like there's something there that I'm missing. So it took me a long time to investigate, finding every resource I could possibly do, every interview with animators, motion designers that I respected, trying to figure out what was the magic that they had there. And I think I mentioned a bit earlier in this live stream that were more nuance in the directing and how you approach scenes and approach building each shot and each motion, and that care and attention to detail. And that's it. And then learning all of those skills, I think that was what gave me the confidence to go freelance. And then I went freelance. I had a very successful year doing that, and then decided to start the YouTube channel on the side. And then you probably know the journey from there. But yeah, that sort of in between period where I was competent in After Effects, between how do I get to the next level where I'm really comfortable that I can be a freelancer that people would want to hire and create work that is in that top level. So that's what I've tried to condense all of those years of my research into this course for you all here. Excellent. Okay. Okay, you really deserve a break after this course. Make sure you don't lose work-life balance. Great artists need it, especially. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I definitely agree. Again, wife and dog nodding emphatically. I'm nodding even more. I think, yeah. I mean, the last few weeks have been intense, particularly, and it might be intense for a little while. Hopefully, we're tapering down as things finish off. Production-wise. But I've still, yeah, I am planning to take a long rest, hopefully long, thoughts and think about, how I want to go from here and start, new chapter, in my life and on the channel. And so things might change a little bit, but, you're still going to get what you came for. Will there be an opportunity to get a real critique? I don't see why not. In the course, in the private group, and definitely things will be more focused on the assignments to keep things, that's going to be more valuable for the community as a whole if, we'll focus on one idea at a time. But look, I'm not opposed to a cheeky real critique from now and then. You gotta ask me when I'm in the right mood. I haven't done a show reel review in a while. Maybe I'll do one coming up and I'll ask for some more submissions. Thank you. Okay, could this course give me the tools I need to go full freelance? Technically speaking, absolutely. If you're comfortable in After Effects, and you take this course, I definitely think it'll give you the skills and hopefully the confidence to be able to, take on projects as a freelancer, because there is a market for freelancers at all levels. Some people, they need a freelancer who's they don't need something very complex animated, so they can hire a beginner freelancer, and then sometimes they need the pros, and they're gonna bring out the big checks and hire someone for a lot of money who's very specialized. But certainly, what I want to do with my animation is make people confident, especially with workflow and preparation. That's something I really want to emphasize, and we talked one lesson in the course is all about workflow, and to make people feel comfortable that it's not that I only know how to animate faces, and I only know how to animate motion graphics with squares and blocks. I want to give you a machine, a machine that you can put your ideas and your designs into, and when you filter it through pre-production, storyboard style frames, blocking, animation, polish and effects, you're confident that you'll be able to take any project that a client throws at you, and you can filter it through your system and create a great product at the end, but while still keeping your creativity and ingenuity. And there is one question I have seen pop up that scrolled by, and that is, what's the difference between this course and the YouTube channel? And I really want to emphasize, I did come up with a metaphor that I'm quite proud of for this one. So I think YouTube rewards a certain type of content. So I'm kind of limited to what I can create on YouTube channel. And I think, and what makes a good YouTube channel is not what makes a good course. On YouTube, I like to think of my tutorials as they're recipes of how to make food. So this is one tutorial is how to make a lemon tart. Hopefully you're going to learn skills like, okay, I can know how to make a lemon tart, but also I can make a raspberry tart. I know how to make a lemon dressing. You learn little bits about different stuff that you can apply elsewhere. But you're still learning this one little encapsulated product. The course is like culinary school. This is teaching you how to be an awesome chef, how to set up your kitchen so that you can cook anything as effectively as possible. So that's kind of, the difference there, if that makes sense. Okay. Another question here. Hello, Ben. Is this course more than just technical? I really enjoy your approach to artifacts and creativity. It stands out, and I'd love to find that in the course. Hi from Belgium. Well, hello. Belgium, that's my best. Flemish, I think that's just a general greeting. People love to put A's in hello over there. Yeah, definitely. The technical aspects of After Effects, that's just one part. And that's when you're, delivering a screen shared recording and making stuff in After Effects, that's going to get covered just by the nature of the medium. Like, by me making these projects, you're going to learn technically how to do everything. But a lot of the course, and certainly another thing that's different than in YouTube, is in YouTube, it's very fast paced. I don't want my YouTube videos to bloat or lag or have information that isn't that relevant to the majority of the audience. But in the course, I've got all the time I want. I've got a captive audience, so I take big pauses to explain, okay, now I'm about to approach this section of the animation. What are some different ways we can do this? What is going to be an effective way? What is going to be more kind on the budget and the timeline, and things like that. I will show an example for our morphs lesson, week 4. So we're building these 4 morphs and we're explaining different ways of how to approach morphing. But in this one, I say, okay, well, let's imagine I was given this project and I have 30 minutes to animate it. Like, what is the quickest possible way we can get to the finish line and make something that morphs like this? And it doesn't look like this. The morphing isn't as intense as this, but I'm showing an alternative path that we can use to get that. And yeah, there was lots of asides. That's one of the main, technical surface differences you'll notice between my tutorials and the courses. Yeah, there's lots of more asides and philosophizing about the creativity and approach to work than there is just figuring out how to approach how to use different techniques and different tools to get the result you want. All right. Okay, this might sound like a basic question, but how do you become effective in After Effects? Can I get good in After Effects taking your course? Can you recommend After Effects? Of course, yeah, definitely. This course will definitely make you, that's the minimum. This course will make you good at After Effects if you're not already confident in After Effects. If you know the basics and how to make things move, this will push those to the next level just by the benefit of seeing the techniques and me explaining the techniques. That's the minimum. So you'll be able to walk away from this course if you do the assignments and watch the videos and pay attention as a minimum. And I do want to emphasize the real value is taking the assignments and learning along with it. Like you can watch tutorial videos, you can watch a lecture. That's the easy part. That's the beginning. It's actually getting your hands dirty, working on the assignments, making something, because you're going to encounter things. Like if you approach something very slightly differently, if you use a slightly different design, you're going to diverge. You're going to diverge from the tutorial, and that diversion is only going to get greater and greater as the tutorial, as you approach finishing the animation. So, what I really want to encourage is people after this course, and during the course even, you're going to be animating your own work. You're not going to be animating things that I make, and I want people to be confident that you can animate whatever you're given. And it's the method of how you approach that. It's not, well, the way to animate morphs is you always use the mirror effect and tweak these keyframes when you want to animate from a spade to a heart, because that's not practical for everyone. Outside the context of making the specific morph, you're not going to use those specific skills, but it's the process and the meaning behind it. That's what you can take an approach to any animation you make. So I think that answered your question. That's a bit of a ramble. Okay, struggling with morphs, looking forward to that part of the course. Awesome. That's I'm glad to hear that. I'm really proud of this one, because this one morphs and we have transitions as well. I wanted to include both of these because those are the money shots in After Effects, in motion design, in animation. Whenever I see a good morph, I'm like, oh, that looks good. It's the polish, it's the flourish, it's a bit of, the stuff on top that's like, okay, it's the money shot. People want to, you want to see that, you want to show off that, oh, this is a really exciting thing. And I think morphs and transitions in particular, because it shows, I think, as a story point of view, it shows a transformation for something. So it's already got a context of some sort of message built in. You could say any morph between any two objects, and you could interpret that to have some sort of meaning. And they're just very fun to make. And people are going to be disappointed if I didn't get shown. Well, there's all the cool stuff about process and building all those skills, but if you want to make something fun and they're so fun to make, these morphs, fun, and that impresses people and impresses yourself, because that's another thing. If we're going to be honest, so much of motion design is animating rectangles and text boxes and things that aren't always exciting, especially for corporate work. But if you can include just a few elements in there, like if a client gives you, hey, here's an 8-minute animation, we just have text scrolling up about statistics about how good our company is. Like finding little spots that, okay, well, how about at the very beginning and at the very end, we just have a cool transition that adds a bit of flair. Even clients that maybe don't always appreciate the best motion design, like they'll appreciate, all the nuance and detail, the work that goes into it. They can see like morphs and transitions and go, hang on a minute, that looks cool, that looks different. Can we get more of that? I think it's an easy way to put a wedge in to the work you do to elevate, like just in a few seconds, get people's attention, go, oh, they've got skills. We can hire them to do more complicated, more interesting things here. So yeah, I love morphs and transitions. They're great. Okay. Hi Ben, I'm trying to make my animated graduation shot in AE, but I got stuck while animating larger shots and I can't simplify the workflow. Would this course help me in that process? Yeah, absolutely. This workflow, especially in like week 7 and 8, we're building one scene in 2 steps. Let me hide these other ones. This is a long shot. This one's 5 seconds, so it's not like a crazy long shot, but there's a fair bit of, interaction and motion between these 2 elements, and especially in the breakdown that we've got here. So I'm going to play the end of the trailer so you can see the breakdown. So this is a 15-second shot. So from the end here, we've got this microscope, and we're transitioning between 8 different scenes, and especially this transition at the beginning, because that is one of the places where a lot of people struggle, and I certainly do, is like, okay, I can animate each scene in isolation, but getting things to move between them seamlessly. Like, how do we get from this microscope to have this, intense 3D camera rotation to get here? So we're, our camera is changing, 90 degrees and rotating and doing all of these complex things to get to another spot, and we've got to figure out, well, we can see the next scene already inside here. And hopefully this transition is seamless. We go inside, and now we're in, new comps. We're in new comps. We've swapped from being, in comp A to comp B. We don't have any comps that are like 800 layers long, and, it looks like a big ladder going upwards. That's how I used to approach things like that. And you do have to make decisions trying to figure out, well, is it better to just put everything in one comp? So that makes the transitions easier, but then working on each separate element is harder, and figuring out where to draw that line of, well, what's going to be more efficient for the process is, I'm going to need to, not necessarily compromise, but you're going to need to make choices at each part, making decisions. And that, I think, is a big part of that. And a big part of the course is like creative decision making, making a decision of what to do and what not to do, like at every step of the pace. Do I put a keyframe here? Do I approach it like this? Like, that's what I think separates good design, good animation, good anything creativity is like confidence and in your decision making, that you can make a decision. You're not trying to like, oh, I'm trying to do this and this with this scene. That's when things look, you can tell the heart's not in it. When you see an animation or see an ad on TV and you're like, oh, okay, there's really good animation here, but the client wanted them to do this. You can see where the budget's missing, or they didn't believe the audience would get it, so they have to make compromises. And we don't want to make work like that. And I think in everything we do, even if it's boring, simple corporate animations, if you can make interesting, confident decisions, it's going to make the work a lot better. And it's going to give you, every time you do that, it's going to give you more confidence to make more and more interesting work. And I think like having that base, really for me, because I'm not a confident person. I know, like, I'm on YouTube showing my face all over the place. I mean, I don't show my face that much, but I put out my work out there a lot. And that's not always the case. I'm not a confident person, but I've learned, like, the way that I deal with that is just make sure I know what I'm talking about before I say anything. Like, I'm confident that I know 2D animation and After Effects. That's what I try to keep, like, what I know and what I'm confident I can deliver on. So that was what, when I talk about making that difference into freelance, like, okay, if I'm going to go freelance and I have to every week ask a different client for money, essentially, I need to sell myself to them, like, very regularly. Like, I don't have the confidence and the charisma to do that on my own. I just need to prove it with a good portfolio and have the knowledge that I can execute and not be caught out in the middle of, like, my biggest fear. Like, honestly, like, fear built this into me. Like, I don't want to be making, like, someone hires me and then I can't deliver on it and they're unhappy and I'm unhappy and I feel worse. That's the worst scenario. So, building a base of a foundation of knowledge that you're confident in, all those processes that, I'm going to be teaching all in this course. That's the best thing that you can have for me, I think, to help build your confidence. Okay. How will the work be structured? Will we be copying a short animation every week or taking lessons from a weekly example and creating our own unique work? Yes to both. So I'm going to give 2 options, really giving 4 options with each assignment. But yes, so I will be building, so each week I'll be building, one of these things. So in So let me give an example of transition. So I'm going to be making this every week. You're going to be seeing in this menu what I'm making here. So I'm going to show you exactly how I made this, how I planned it, but in the process of me making it, I'm showing the skills of how you can make this between any two objects you want. So for the assignment, if for people that don't want to design, you can take this example that I've made, or you can take another example. I'll provide two other objects for you to make. But for people that do design and want to design and want to improve those skills as well, make your own objects and merge between those as well, and we'll give feedback on that. So as much as you want to get out of the course and put your own work into that, I will highly encourage that. And I definitely don't want people to think I want people to be ambitious with what they make in these assignments as well. Like, you don't have to go crazy, but what I regret in art school was I tried to please the tutors, what I thought they thought good design was, and I didn't know what good design was. I was just a student. I should have been just being bold and making like interesting things, because there's no risk at uni if you don't do something good, you're gonna get a less good mark. Who cares? Like, that's not a big deal. Like, that's the worst thing that can happen there. Like, in the real world, you got clients and budget and time, and if you do something bad, you're either client's going to be unhappy and won't hire you again, or you've got to fix it, and that takes you extra time and money. Here, I want you to have fun, make something. If you have an idea, go, maybe I'll try to make this. Go do that. Like, really explore that, because that is that trait, that mechanism. Like, okay, I want to take what I've seen here and approach it to something new that I've made. That's like invaluable in any sort of creative profession, whether you're employee or freelance or anything. Wherever you are, if you've got that skill and that sort of ideas, that's going to help you do anything you want to make. And we're going to be here to give you feedback on all of that. Not just, the feedback isn't going to be how well you animated a match to turn into a sword. It's going to be, okay, you've got these two objects. How have you built a context of motion between these two that tell a story, and with fluid motion? And no matter what objects you choose, and because I want to encourage that, because after this course, when you're out in the old world, you're going to be, when you're out in the real world, you're going to be using your own your own designs or other people's designs. It's not going to be my designs that are all perfectly labeled and layered and set up properly for you. I'm making it as easy as possible for you here. So anyone that wants to, like, hey, I just want to, transitions are new to me, I'm just going to focus on getting this motion right, you can do that. But anyone that wants to, like, hey, I want to create a sick animation with these two things, that I know you'll be able to do that as well. So yes is the answer to, will you be doing this? Okay. Question from Flynn Tracy, good friend of mine, runs all Adobe live streams over on Behance Weekly. They've got some awesome, they're doing a motion one, I believe this week, with some awesome type effects. But yeah, he asked an awesome question. Okay, sorry, never mind. Okay, my producer moving on. Okay, how is this class different from your motion practice class or motion design school? So motion practice, that is focused on, that's frame by frame animation. That is to take someone who knows After Effects but wants to add cell animation, frame by frame animation into their skill set. So that one, I'm teaching the basics, the fundamentals of frame by frame animation, and then how to put that in After Effects. This course, so there's a little bit of frame by frame, but in After Effects, in a neat context, this isn't, this is laser focused on advanced 2D animation techniques. Okay, what set your course apart from Motion Beast course? Now, full disclosure, I've not taken the Motion Beast course, but from the website I can see that is it says, I think it's under the basic label, basic courses. So mine's more for intermediates. So I think that's great for, if you're just starting. This is more to, After Effects, how to move things around, but you want to take your stuff to the next level. That's what this one's for. Okay, how will we have access to the lessons once we have enrolled, or have they started? Through your website or with a login? Yeah, so it's all through my website. I'm doing this, independently on my own platform, which is one reasons why this is taking so long. There's a lot more work in the back end than I anticipated, just making a course for another company. So this is all on my own, and yes, you will log in. It will look, it's a platform that exists for making courses on, so it looks professional. As soon as you enroll in the course, you'll be able to, you'll get login details. You can log in, and you'll be able to see them, as a player and go through one by one. If you've taken an online course before, it's the same way as that. It's no problem. If you sign up for the bonuses, what time limit do you have submitting your work for critique by the gurus? Okay, so it's essentially 8 weeks. So I've managed to enlist the gurus for 8 weeks. Still so lucky that I've got all these awesome names to help me with this. So for 8 weeks, so it's from October, essentially October and November, you can submit your work, whether it's for the lesson that we're doing. Excuse me. So whether it's 6 weeks into that, the beginning of November, and we're working on effects and color. Excuse me. You can submit your week 1 assignment, and we'll give feedback on that. So anything that goes on the in the private group during this period, we'll get a critique. Should I be fluent in English to join your course? That will definitely be helpful. The course is in English, and we've managed to get English captions for everything. And I would love to give the course in other languages as well. So let me know if you want it in other caption in other languages and other subtitles. If we get enough, I'll be able to give it in other languages. But yeah, for the launch so far, it's just going to be just in English, I'm afraid. Okay, I'm terrible with colors. How deep will the color part of the course go? Will I be able to pick good colors by the end? The color section is mainly focused on using colors in After Effects. That's a big topic on its own, and I'll be talking about how to match colors and make things look good and blend things together. But going into the detail of color theory and all of that thing, we won't be doing in this lesson. This is mainly just focused on how to get cool colored effects like you see here, how to get things blending, morphing between two colors, how to use a really interesting technique I like where you animate in black and white first and you apply the colors afterwards. And not only does that make that a lot more easy to edit afterwards, but you can get effects doing that method that you can't get just by going in and coloring it first. If we want to get the course in a few months or so, would we be able to get it pre-ordered or something like that? Yeah, definitely. Like, if you want to enroll in the course in a few months, and hey, I'm going to do this in a few months, like, I would encourage you to enroll now to get these bonuses. We've got 16 days left. You're going to get these project breakdowns, feedback from the motion gurus, weekly live streams, 2 bonus lessons. Okay. If I want to get would we be able to get it pre-recorded or something that? Sorry, I thought I said pre-ordered. Pre-recorded. Like everything is pre-recorded. All the lessons pre-recorded. The only thing that's not will be the live streams and the feedback from the gurus. So you're going to get the same experience of the actual lessons whenever you take the course, but you're going to get the interaction with us and the community in this first launch semester is the bonus that you're going to get if you enroll now. All right. Do we need a drawing tablet? No, absolutely not. All you need is After Effects and a mouse and keyboard. I would recommend. I wanted to make this as like I love to use a Cintiq for frame by frame animation and other things like that. But for After Effects, a mouse for me, that's just the most precise thing. And yeah, it'll all be in After Effects. You don't need any fancy specific hardware or anything. The projects we're using aren't particularly heavy. I mean, some of them we get in the effects chapter. We get things when we start layering effects on each other, it's going to get pretty busy. But everything else is like super lightweight. I got a question earlier about file sizes. Like I know the first lesson, all the working file, it was like 2 megabytes, and I included like there's 10 different versions of the working file. One thing also I think is different than other courses that I haven't seen done before is, so in each lesson, like in each week, I've split it up into different lessons that are 10, 15-minute chunks depending on how they are. So you've got a good start and end point if you just want to duck in and learn a bit, and then they thread together like chapters. But I've saved out the project file at each step of the way. So if you want to jump in halfway through and skip the first part, because hey, I'm already comfortable with that, I just want to start from here, you can do that as well. But yeah, really light project files they should be, because it's all vector assets. We're not really using any additional textures or any heavy files like that. All right, we're at 9 o'clock now. We've been streaming for an hour. Thank you so much, everyone. I think, is there any more questions that I've missed, lovely producer? I think we've covered almost everything. How about for the last few minutes, I'll take some fun questions about anything you want to know about animation or, science fiction or fun things like that. When would a possible second semester will be when you'll have live feedback again? I'm not sure. Live feedback, with I'm not sure. Certainly not for a while. Certainly not this year, and maybe never. I'll be in there giving feedback soon. Don't worry about that. But now's the chance to get it. Okay, favorite song. Oh, I love. Okay, I can. Favorite's hard, but I love Roads by Portishead, Mother by Pink Floyd, Mother by John Lennon as well. Reckoner from In Rainbows by Radiohead is probably number one though. I love Reckoner. And Wesley's Theory is one of my favorites. I do love that at the moment. Okay. Have you read Brandon Sanderson? And if so, I have read Brandon Sanderson. I've only read Mistborn though, and I've bought the rest of the first trilogy of trilogies on Audible. So I'll be going through the second one very soon. Favorite dinosaur? I love Brachiosaurus. I like it simple. Like, it's a classic. It's great. It's good size. Good size. Good 80-ton land animal there. That's what I look for in an animal. Okay. Favorite movie? I love... ones that I recently loved. I watched Brazil a couple of weeks ago. That was great. I love Brazil. Raiders of the Lost Ark I love. But I think Jurassic Park... I love The Prestige. That one's a bit of an outlier. But like... Yeah, I have Spirited Away. Those are, I think, my ones that if I want to get, artsy. I love Spirited Away. That's what an animator would say. But like, I love Raiders of the Lost Ark. There's adventure, there's action, there's punching, there's quips, there's jokes, there's face melting. It's got everything you want. Hip hop, yeah, favorite hip. I love Freddie Gibbs. Anything that Freddie Gibbs does, I think he's the best, rapper out there alive today. Pinata, my favorite hip hop album, I think. Him with Mad Libs. Bandana was great. Alfredo was great. I'm looking forward to what he's done coming out soon. But I think Tyler, obviously, I think is probably the best hip hop album this year so far. Really enjoyed that. Favorite animators. I love in the motion design world. I absolutely love Alan Lasseter and Ariel Costa. Who's by Blink. Blink My Brain. Those are really awesome. They're big influences on me. Like they use a lot of, especially earlier in the game, using a lot of texture, getting a lot of tactility in the animation. I really look up to them a lot. Favorite color? I like teal. This color down here, the very bottom here, where this fades into like a nice blue, slightly muted, not pure saturated, like mix between green and navy. I really like. Yeah, Rip Doom, best MC with no chain I've ever heard personally. Favorite layer color in After Effects? Fuchsia. Fuchsia. That's what if I want a layer to stand out, I'd label it fuchsia. Then yellow. Then there's a cyan teal. I think it's called teal in there. Those are my three when I want something to look good. And they're all pretty much the colors that I used for all the course design. Excellent. What else have we got? Will this course cover a bit of storyboarding? We do cover storyboarding a little bit. It's not gone into super in-depth detail, but yeah, we'll cover that how certainly I approach that in certainly this project breakdown, which we kind of go from beginning to end of making this. A lot of these I designed these lessons to be sort of one shot, so it's more contained, but yeah, we will cover that. Excellent. All right. Why did you choose a bat for a logo? I got no idea. I drew this 8 years ago and I thought that looks cool. Like it kind of looks a bit dark, a bit cute. I thought, okay, that kind of represents me at that time. So I used that and I thought of it as like I don't know, rarely I draw something and I was like, oh, that could work as a logo as well. Because I come from a design background. I love really minimal designed shaped things. I know that this is super minimal, but I really like that. And it just stuck as a logo. And I'm like, well, I don't want to change. I'm glad that I picked that because I don't need to change my profile picture every few months when I create some better work, and I think it gives more consistency. So I'm happy to stick with that for the rest of my life. I like the bat; it's come out well. All right, well I think that's I'm gonna have to wrap this up. I'm gonna give it one more question. Okay, favorite. I answered that. That's Spirited Away. Well, okay, when did you? We got Chris, mate. What got you into design and animation to begin with? Man, I've been one of my first memories as a kid was like drawing when I was like 2 years old with colored pencils, trying to figure out why did they give a white pencil, and then like making a mark and go, oh, it's slightly yellow off white. That's why they did it. I have no idea why they actually put a white pencil in a kid's box. No kid's going to use that. It wouldn't work on any dark material. But like I was just drawing my whole life, and that's what my parents encouraged, and I don't know, it was an outlet to, you know, express yourself when you're a shy kid at school. And like, well, I can draw helicopters good. So the cool kid's like, can you draw a helicopter for my assignment? Hell yeah, I'm drawing helicopters all over for all the kids. And that was the only way to, you know, I guess it was get social credit at school. That's the only way I knew how. I drew lots of Dragon Ball Z. So when I still drew anime, Dragon Ball Z, I learned all my anatomy from Goku and Vegeta. So if I ever draw humans, they will have massive foreheads, massive ears, enormous muscles. Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. I've had a great time chatting. I'll be doing, you know, in the course, weekly live streams. They're going to be more casual than, you know, just teaching lessons. They're going to be giving feedback and just chatting with all the students as well. So it's been great. You're going to get more of this. And yeah, I'm looking forward to all the students that have enrolled. I can't wait to, you know, see all your work and see how you progress and join me in the course. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of you. Thank you for everyone that's come to watch here. Thank you, everyone that stayed up late. Have a good night, good morning to other people. Hope you have a great day. All right. Goodbye, everyone.